Hello, if anybody's here. Oops, I forgot to put that on. I don't know if I'm live yet, actually. It says I'm live, but I'm usually not live. But now I am live. Hey, Diana, Carol, anybody lurking in the background there, like maybe a hidden mic somewhere? Man, I bet that may be a what's the term where you say a word but it doesn't really mean that. I don't know if there is such thing as a hidden mic. Can you hide mic? Can you hide a mic? Hey, Tina, welcome in. Hidden Mickey. Yeah, hidden Mikey, you're right. We would know him because in each hand he has a big donut. Tina, are you on the road traveling or are you just sitting it and using your phone because it's convenient? Because I'm sure Brenda's on her phone too. She always is. She never says that, but I can't get her to get her laptop out and use it for some reason. I'm not sure why. Perhaps now that I've called her on it in public, she'll tell us. Oh, I'll let that get a little cold. Heat it back up there. Yeah, phone is more convenient. That's true. It's just smaller. I have a new phone because my other one died, and I think it's got a better camera in it. I haven't tried it yet to, do a video, vlog it, or. Good evening, Doug. Welcome. Good to see you. Hey, I think let me look here at my chart. I think the Ohio kids won their game today in the Little League World Series, or yesterday. I think it was today. Where's New Albany? It's New Albany. I don't know exactly where the New Albany is. And in fact, I can't even find them on my chart. And I just wrote that down. Oh, there they are. Oh, they're playing right now, actually. They're playing the team out of El Segundo, California. And the Ohio team is listed as the Great Lakes region. I don't know if you're interested in baseball, but maybe our kid, the Little League Baseball. But I just had to force myself to turn it off. I watched as many of the games as I can, and they were just now playing, and I didn't get to watch it. I saw a great game a little while ago, though, where two pitchers combined to pitch a perfect game, which is pretty amazing. It's amazing if one guy manages to do it. Two, to me, seems even harder, but maybe not. But they only pitched a total of 66 pitches in the whole game. So roughly average 11 pitches per inning. They play 6 innings. That's pretty remarkable. If they go the whole tournament like that, they'll be untouchable. But that's baseball talk. Forgive my mess, guys. I didn't move anything or clean anything up today. I just didn't. Oh, Diana. Baseball is boring. Baseball isn't boring. It's only boring if you don't pay attention or know the game, I guess, maybe. You know, a lot of statistics that we use today were invented because of baseball. That's true. That pitcher from Chinese Taipei, there is no way he is 12 or 13. Well, I better you on. I mean, I'm going to say one. I don't even know if he can be 13. I thought they were just 11 and 12-year-olds, but I may be wrong about that. It might be 13. I thought they dropped the age down a year, but maybe it used to be 14. Well, I guess that's always questionable, Doug. I have to hope they did some checking on that sort of thing. Hey, Lori Jean Carlson. It's like watching paint dry. It takes forever. Just going to let that go, Diana. Just going to let that go. What, Teddy? Teddy disagrees. He says it's fun to chase the ball. Doug, that's the $1,000 question this week. I think nobody's really heard from him. And I'll be honest, I've tried to call a couple of times. I'm not hearing much. You see a Teddy here? You want to stand up and say hi to Miss Carol? Huh? You want to stand up? You could stand up here on the arm of your chair and like you know. Come here. Come here. Say hi. I don't think he's going to do it. Come here. Stand up here and say hi. I bet he'd do it for a Teddy snack. Oh, you tried to call him, Doug? No answer? That's interesting. No Michelle either, I assume. Hey, there he is. Stand up. Come here. Stand up. Carol wants to see you. No, don't be shy. I don't think he's going to, Carol. There's Mike. Diana said you were playing Hidden Mikey tonight. I'm just finishing doing the dishes because somebody said that they were going to do them. Somebody said that, huh? Was that somebody? Well, if that somebody was you, then everything's okay. You could stand up, you know. You could stand up and say hi to everybody. Everybody wants to know how Teddy's doing. If you could talk, you could just take over. Oh my gosh, Mike! I said I'd do them. Oops. That's sort of a public confession. They can see your ears when they pop up. You know that? Yes, she did, Doug, right here in front of all of us. Mr. Impatient. What? 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 You want to stand up? No, he's going to grab a hold of my hand and hold me for a minute. Yeah, you shouldn't do. I mean, you know, if you're going to confess in front of all of us, that might not be the right thing to do. However, I can be bought. You know, like a box of those little maple leaf sugar candies that you get up in Canada. You could, I for a box of those, I swear I never heard you say that, Diana. He cooked. I told him I'd clean up. What'd you cook, Mike? What'd we have tonight? What did Carol do? Oh. And Brendan and I obviously think alike. Ooh. Come on, warm up, coffee. To see how sweet Teddy is. He had me. Actually realized I picked that up. I got blood on that earlier accidental. Chicken tacos. Oh, that sounds good to me. She's trying to be honest. Is that a difficult thing for you, Diana, to be honest? You're trying. Well, I commend you. Moose burgers. I'd like to have a moose burger. Did you make those? Do you have moose burgers on donut, like a donut bun? Who said somebody sells that? Somebody has a donut, has a hamburger that's on a donut bun. Oh, sometimes you're too honest. Well, that's good to know. We all should strive to be, honest most of the time at least. I mean, you can ask Brenda, I'm honest most of the time. Well, not to beat the horse, not to beat it to death. I'm sure Michelle and Garrett have something going on. Eventually, they'll tell us. I guess. I, I'm hesitant to just keep calling because I don't want to upset anybody. But at the same time, just like you guys, I'd kind of like to know what's going on. I'm worried about them too, just because. Isn't it funny how we worry about people we've never physically met, or well, I have talked to him on the phone. And yet we have great concern, or I feel like there's great concern. And I have to confess, Mike and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. So, oh, Brenda says I'm too honest sometimes. Well, thank you. Well, I think Disney Spring has a place that has burger donuts. I knew somebody did it. I thought it was down there. I think it. Now I started saying it's that donut place that's Everglades or something like that. It's kind of a play on Everglades, I believe. Yeah, they probably need their space. Okay. Um, so let's go back to the no, that's it. That's the end of it, and I agree. Let's talk about the Little League World Series for a minute. Everybody but Diana, anyway. She can go finish the dishes for Mike or something while we do this. But I'd like to talk about the fact that all these kids can get together and they can play baseball. And even when they beat burger donuts, instead of a bun, Carol, a glazed donut on the top and the bottom. And I don't know if they cut the donut in half. Does anybody know, or if it's really a whole donut on both sides? I'm not sure about that. You'd think it'd be half and half. Yeah, Everglazed, right? No, what, the baseball or the donut burger? Now I'm treating myself to an ice cream sandwich. Oh, that's not fair, Mike. I don't have any ice cream in the house. That's kind of unthoughtful of you, eating ice cream in front of me. Dana can go pick out a new puppy. Yes, while we discuss Little League. I'm not going to discuss it much. And I wasn't going to discuss the game as a whole, Diana. I was going to bring up the fact that these kids from all over the world and different countries can all get together and play baseball together and have a great time. And, they're not fighting or hating on each other, or, they play baseball. And to me, it's kind of, I don't know, it's enlightening that they can do that. What was Carol saying? Dana can go pick. Oh, new puppy. Yes. Well, I've been looking a little bit for puppies. I don't have one yet, but Mike says if I find one, they'll come down here and pick it up. But we can't tell anybody it's going to Canada. At least that's what I've been hearing. Somebody said that. I'm going to put ice cream treats on our grocery list. Oh, yes. Can I help pick out which ones? Please, Mom, please. Anybody besides me old enough? Well, I don't guess you have to be old enough. How many people here ever bought ice cream off the truck when it came by outside? We used to have an ice cream. We lived out in a rural part of the area. We weren't in town. I guess we could have been deeper in the country, but we had ice cream trucks. They'd come by in the evenings, just in the summertime, and you could hear them down the road. And, all the kids would say, well, some money. Can we have some money, Mom, please? Can we have some money? And we'd go out and buy popsicles or an ice cream sandwich or a push-up, which was orange sherbet in a tube. You have that there now? I buy ice cream off the ice cream truck all the time when I'm working. Diana, were you aware of this ice cream indulgence at work? Good opportunity to pull them over. Good idea, Mike. Yeah, I have heard one around here once in a while, but it's not regular. It certainly doesn't come. I guess there's not enough kids here in this subdivision. But, ice cream trucks were really cool. And then Cheech and Chong kind of turned them into something else, I guess, when they started buying their marijuana off the ice cream truck sort of, I guess that kind of turned bad. Oops, I just closed my window. Hang on a minute. There it is. Oh, they have debit card. Oh my goodness, that makes it very convenient because that used to be the reason we couldn't. Mom, what I always got was I don't have any change tonight. I don't have any dollar bills, and they sure weren't going to trust me with a 5 or a 10. Oh, what did Brenda say? Oh, the ice cream on the grocery list. Yeah. Errol said, Mike and Diana. Oh, I got to look over here. So my head looks more like I'm looking at the camera. You're lucky. We get ice cream trucks periodically. Yeah, that's kind of how we are. But then we'll go 2 or 3 years without. Yeah, I thought they'd quit running altogether for a long time because we didn't ever see them. And the pot truck. I don't think they called it that, but yeah, that's what it was. I guess out in California now, though, or Colorado, you could do that legally. Just check IDs at the window, and what do you want, boys? Oh, we'd like to have a El Segundo Bud sickle and a box of chewables. Such a big treat for the kids to get ice cream from a truck. I know, Diana, it was. And a lot of the kids would be out there meeting. I haven't heard anybody this summer, but we did used to get this sad little van coming around. The music would drag. It was kind of, yes, it was kind of, I remember that too. Yeah, the music didn't play real well. I mean, it's just like out of a movie or something. Who cares about the kids? I know, me too. That's true, Mike. That's a good point. For sure, ice cream off the truck is more fun. Yeah, it is more fun than eating it at home, just getting it at home out of the freezer. Could probably do that here too. What are we doing here, Mike? I missed that. God, I can't keep up. Buy the pot off the truck, you mean? Oh, I guess you can. I didn't think about that. Oh, I think if you could do that, if you could get on the ground floor of that, Mike and Diana, we could all, well, I'd say I get some credit now. I brought it up. So maybe a percentage. Because you could probably do well. Rolling pot shop. What we used to call them head shops. Does anybody remember that? A lot of people didn't trust them anymore because, yeah, that's true too, Brenda. That did, and who knows if that happened or not, but that was certainly a fear, and the drug thing became a real fear for some people. And I've got another question I don't think I talked about this last week. Maybe I did. I guess you can remind me. I don't. What time is it? I'll go just a few more minutes. I'm just talking about the ice cream truck and donuts. I don't have a lot tonight anyway. I'm just, as you by my name, I'm babbling, kind of a babbling bear tonight. I started not to come on, but I thought, no, I will, so we can talk. As Diana put it, we have a little homey thing here going on, so we can all feel comfortable. Miss a few people though. Gee, who used to come in? I don't. Maybe I ran everybody off. Let's see, Doug's here. Tony used to come in once in a while. Bobbling Bear is just fine. No, I'm babbling. Oh, Babbling Bear, yes. I got to get my new glasses. I got a new prescription the other day for glasses, and I got to get some new glasses. And I actually have to get. Don't start in with that yawning stuff though. I'll try not to. Have I been? Maybe once. I haven't done that a lot yet. Did Tim tell you I'm coming over to fix the? Oh no, Mike, I didn't. I forgot about that. Oh, geez, I should have lied my way out of that. Now who's too honest, Diana? Yeah, Mike said if I got the puppy for him, they'd come down and get it, and while Mike was here, he'd fix the ceiling. Why do you think I'm buying ice cream, Mike? Oh, oh, Mike. Doug needs drywall done too. This could take you a while to do this trip. Oh, sorry, Carol. You didn't see that. I'll hold that one in. Now Mike's got a drywall truck. Oh, I don't know how lucrative that would be. Mike, you never know. Somebody might run out real quick and say, hey, my washer just got off balance and knocked a big hole in the drywall. Can you come in and fix it? Is Mike going to wear a unicorn suit? I doubt it. It'd be hard to do drywall in a unicorn outfit. They can do that, Doug. Like when they make a loop. So do we? So do we? We need drywall done too, Mike. Uh-oh. Well, what is it they used to say? The shoemaker's kids are always the ones that are going barefoot. So, Diana, you're just FOL. If he does, post pictures, please. Yes. If I say Mike in a unicorn suit, there will be pictures. I wonder if they had my size. See, there's the wife popping in, reminding Mike that he needs to do drywall at home. Mike in a unicorn suit drywalling will be a live stream. Oh, I can see that now. I'd do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. That's absolutely a fact. I could get my my gimbal out, and I could follow Mike around from the garage to here and back out, and see what he does when the dust falls in his face, and that sort of thing. Do you do flooring? Our kitchen floor is a disaster. Mike, you've opened up a whole can of worms, buddy. Oh, that's a great idea. We should do that in fundraising money for Ellen, California. Well, there you go, Mike. Now that is an excellent idea. What? What? Pick up? I'll pick you up? No? Okay. Why don't you stand up here a minute? Come here. Stand up. What's the matter? Okay, this is turning into the Tim Talks to Teddy show, and that's not going to get anybody watching because nobody else can join in the conversation. Right? Wish my microphone would reach. I'd let you guys hear him purring right now. Would Mike in a unicorn suit be a Chasing Shadows or a Saturday Morning Shine, though? Oh, for some people, it'd be a shadow to chase, but it'd probably fit better on Saturday morning. I could do a whole show and get slides and everything, Carol, about drywall workers, and then we'd have Mike as the side. Mike would be doing it live, and I'd be doing the slides, and then we'd break over to Mike, or maybe have a dual camera where we could always see Mike. Hi, Kay. Welcome in. See, Carol would donate. Oh, Diana's up for a road trip. Oh, my goodness. What do you think about that? He stopped purring. Come on, you got to let go. I got to get back over here and do my show. Okay? If you're not going to participate, then, quit grabbing. He hasn't had his SNACK today, so he may be looking for that. I'll have to take it upstairs. Let's go to something I know that's on everybody's mind here in the United States. If the writer's strike keeps going, what kind of new shows nobody's going to have any new shows to watch this fall. What are we going to do? Us folks that like to watch a little TV once in a while. Brendan and I have been discussing that. I think we're going to just, start watching Brit shows. Might as well. We can almost understand the language, and we can, at least have an idea of what's going on. I got to get a lottery ticket so we can make this road trip happen. Okay. We could try to sell tickets in advance, Diana, but I don't know if that'd work or not. Well, they can watch us. They can watch you do drywall, Mike, and they can watch me sit here in my chair on my butt because I can't stand up long enough to do drywall. But we can try. Everybody would see really how wobbly I really am. More YouTube. Well, yeah, that's probably true, Diana. Took me a minute there. Ding, ding, ding. Pick up what to GoFundMe. Well, that's a thought. I'm done with the news this week. It's pretty depressing, but you need to pay attention to what's going on. My thoughts are with all those people in Hawaii. It's a terrible thing. I mean, and I don't know everything that went on out there, but that's such a unique situation. You think about it. I mean, it's like, everybody out there. Hey, Rhonda, welcome in. Just popped in, but watching the Browns game. The Browns game? That's football. It's not football season yet. It's baseball season. The Little League World Series is on. But good to see you. Hang around while the game's on. You can do that. There might be some other Brown. Who are they playing? Oh, 'tis the season. Man, that's hard to believe. It's already football season. It's almost I know it's almost collegiate season. I'm excited about that. Football season starts with the party in my hometown, Philly. Really? I thought you were a native Ohio girl, lady, woman, whatever. Ohioan. Is that a word? Maybe. A Buckeye. That probably depends on if you're a football fan or not. Like Carol, we could call her a Spartan. Oh, I mean a Wolverine. Excuse me. Oh, that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rhonda. I shouldn't ask questions if I'm not going to understand the answers. I think a lot of people just don't realize how much loss there was from that fire, all those lives. Yeah, and that's what I was getting ready to say. Everybody, the people I've ever known that were in the Navy and watching TV, every kind of show about the Navy training and different things over the years, documentaries. Fire is one of the most feared things that anybody could yell or can happen on board a ship. And if you really think about it, this being on a small island, relatively small island, that's not much different than being on a ship. I mean, it's a fire that you can't escape. And I saw a picture the other night, the first time I'd seen this, or a little video clip of all these people that were huddled down below the seawall who were trying to, and some of them would run down to the water and get wet and come back up and sit down, and then they do that. And I know in some places, I didn't think in some places they could even do that because the waters were too high. But they were just trying to survive the fire and the heat. You can be backup cheerleader while they're dry. Yes, I can be the cheerleader. Did you just call me a Spartan? That's the second worst thing you could call me. I can't mention the worst thing because of my because of our Ohio friend in chat. Oh, don't you love college football fans? There's two of them in here, I think. Carol, or Doug. I don't know. Wait a minute, Doug. No, Doug lives. Tony is Ohio. Doug, you're not, are you? Aren't you in California or out west? See, I'm showing my ignorance now. So you might be outnumbered here, Carol. I did call you a Spartan just to get your temper, just to get your hair up or your hackles up back of your neck. But then I corrected myself real quick. Yeah, her and Tony. Yeah, that's what I thought. Is Tony in here? God, I'm stupid tonight. I mean, hang on a minute. Tony, if you're in here, I apologize. I know Doug was in here, I thought. Yeah, there's Doug. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Carol, I'm sorry though. I didn't. I knew what I did that mistake on purpose, and then I corrected myself. Didn't you catch me that I corrected myself? Because I quickly said Wolverine. Diana, I'm going to assume you're still talking about the fires in Hawaii, and yes, they are. I mean, this is almost worse than the volcano eruptions, out there, because this moved so much faster. And the volcanoes give you some warning, and then the lava, while it moves steadily onward to the sea, doesn't doesn't move as fast as this fire. This fire must have roared in on them with just incredible speed, and with the winds being up, I think they were having 60 to 70 knot winds at that time because of the storms south of them. And and there was something else. It knocked out, they didn't have very much of a warning signal because, well, for one thing, I don't think they had one for wildfire. They have a tsunami signal, but I'm guessing it probably wasn't set to go off because that's not the kind of thing that triggers it. Carol says, we out to eat in Iowa, and the server told my son that he didn't serve people in Michigan hats. I didn't think Iowa was that big a rivalry. They still should have had more. Yeah, they should. I mean, but then again, and I'm going to say this, and this might be a bad response, but everybody out there should have known that the fires were in the area, and I do have to wonder if they weren't. I mean, how they didn't know if they. So, I guess I would have been on guard just because I knew they were. Just because I knew they were there, but maybe not. I mean, it's if you've ever been around a wildfire or in the same general vicinity, it's scary. And I've not been in one directly. We had some in the mountains when Bree lived in East Tennessee, Brenda. I don't know if you remember or not. I went out one night though, and you could see down to the mountains. It wasn't that far from where we lived, and you could see the fire on the ridges and stuff, and it was not comforting at all. And what happened in Gatlinburg just a few years ago, that was like that. It came up so fast that there was, I'm going to say, virtually no warning. Again, somebody must have known the fires were moving in that direction, but it happened so quick that a lot of people did not get out of the way. And let's be honest, a lot of people that are in Gatlinburg, regardless of the season, aren't sitting around watching the news and TV for warnings. They're doing other things. So, but I don't know. It's bad. It's really bad, and I guess time will tell if that. But hopefully, they're getting enough help. I just told Brenda yesterday, I believe, and she may not remember, but I told her we really should figure out who to send money to because I would like to donate some. I heard that some of that fire was sparked by down power lines caused by the wind, and that could be Diana, and that because I have heard them discussing. Hey, buddy, I have heard them discussing that they thought the power would have been turned off of those lines, and I guess because of those winds, and apparently they weren't. It's like California, those you're damned if you do and damned if you don't out there. When it's been so dry and they're droughty years for so long, if you cut the power off, people complain because you cut the power off and they were in the dark. But if you didn't cut the power off, the power lines got blown down and sparks flew and the world caught on fire, and then people complain. So I don't know but it would have been much better off to cut them off and listen to them complain about the dark, I think. Carol, wood fire is really frightening. Yeah, especially with the winds. Tell you what, I have been on some control burns, and a lot of the control burns we did were in grass. And I've read in history. I've read a lot of stories about wildfires on the prairie, and out there you had grass fires. And if it was dry enough and the wind was in the right direction, you could have firestorms, on the prairie too, till it hit a creek or a river or some kind of gap that caused it to burn itself out. And I've been in grass fires where it's kind of done that. It's blown up, but we had it contained so it couldn't get out. And it's amazing how hot and how fast some fires can move through that kind of stuff. And it gets up really tall. And if you ever want to really get scared, study. Oh, there he is. What are you talking? Fire? Oh, say hi, everybody. You want to say hi? Huh? We've had to take a teddy break for a minute. You feel better now that you went and got a smackerel? Yeah. You good now? Because Lord knows you're probably starving to death, huh? You're so thin. No warnings, didn't cut the power, no water in the hydrants. Yeah, and I don't understand that either. What Rhonda, have you heard what the deal was with that? Because I've heard that too. Unless that was another problem with the wires, the power being out. If they lost the hydrants because of that, then that would be. Bella said, "Meow." You want to talk to Bella? Huh? She might be nicer than your sister. Your sister's mean, isn't she? Are you the only one spinning? Oh, I don't know. Is anybody else spinning? I didn't see it on my end. Yeah, they should have, Mike. And maybe that's what another failure that happened was they didn't have that done or weren't ready for that. I forgot about the hydrants. I didn't know that until recently. I just assumed. I just assumed they couldn't get to the hydrants because of the fire. It moved in so quick and everything. Oh, Doug, you could have probably gone all night and not said that. Just in case Carol missed it, I'll put it up here for her benefit. Can't believe he said that. Oh, she's going to be nice about it. My team is the Lions, and they never win. Okay. She's nicer than you, Doug, than she is to me. I just said something about the Spartans, and she got all over me. It took me for a minute too, Deronda. I thought she meant her head was spinning. And I thought, no, we're not talking about anything that complicated. My head spins pretty easy, but at least inside. I was stationary, but I was thinking this kind of spinning, in my head, or maybe in her chair. I could spin in my chair. Brenda used to tell me to go sit and spin, but I didn't think it meant that. Now that I think about it, she used to say something about spin on this, so I don't know what that meant. Well, Mike only spun a little bit, so. The margarita truck. Now that would be a fun truck to have going through going through the neighborhood. He'd have to get it to make multiple passes. Hickman is going good at picking the ball off. Oh, is he an Eagle? Or well, wait a minute, I don't know. I don't know pro football as well as I used to. I watch college ball, and I don't know. I lost one. I lost a lot of interest in professional football a few years ago. Speaking of that, and if you're a big fan, I apologize, but has anybody besides me noticed how much sports networks down here now seem to promote gambling? And I'm not being a fuddy duddy here. I've never been one to say you shouldn't gamble. It's up to you, I guess. But I'm there is a part of me that wishes they wouldn't do that. Can make it like a cement truck, and then you would have it mixed constantly. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Brendan. In fact, a cement truck full of margaritas would last a long time. Yeah, I know that, Rhonda, but I can't. I don't know. I'm just old fashioned, maybe in that. I just want my sports to be talked about when they're talking about sports on TV and stuff and these shows. I just assume they talked about the game, not about the odds. But that's me, and I never was a gambler, so I probably don't understand. But the Hall of Fame resort pushed it hard. Hmm. Is that in Canton or is that baseball? I don't even know where the Hall of Fame is. I can't remember for football. But I mean, it's not just football; it's everybody now. But Tennessee fought that kind of thing forever and ever and ever. We didn't have a we didn't have a lottery. Canton, okay, that's what I knew. One of them was. Um, as a parent of an 18-year-old, I worry about the prevalence of sports betting. I do too. I mean, it's just so easy, or it seems to be. You can get online and do it. You can get on your phone and do it, and the crooked nose man's going to start showing up and at your house knocking on your door and you're telling you about your junior is $100,000 in debt to me and I need it paid by tomorrow or it's going to be $200,000. Right before the pandemic, they were trying to put a casino in Atlanta, but I haven't heard anything about it since. I didn't know that. Ron, I hadn't heard that. And I don't think that's going to happen here unless it's on an Indian reservation. We got one across the state line in Cherokee, which is on the Eastern Band's property, but they've not done anything like that. What I was going to say was it was so bad here that you couldn't even have a raffle if you had a school that was trying to raise funds for an athletic team or for books or anything. You couldn't even have a raffle because buying a raffle ticket was gambling, and somebody got it up their backside that, well, we can't have that either. That's gambling, and they've been doing it here for 200 years. A raffle was a way for people to raise money. I'm guessing that you probably couldn't even do a cakewalk anymore. Many of you probably have no idea what a cakewalk is, but that was gambling too. I guess you had to pay $1 to get in line for a cakewalk and may or may not win a cake. Right before, wait a minute, what's commercial? Rhonda, that's a good commercial. Oh, no, I can't keep up tonight. The one commercial I saw because the guy in the commercial explained how he gambled safely, setting up things in the app, whoop, 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 so he didn't get too far before he started. Well, I hear that too, but I also know there's a lot of people that won't do that or won't be able to do that. I mean, it's one thing for me to go out and bet a few bucks on something and then not care, but there are people who do, and there are people that the more they do it, the more they do it, the more they do it. So speaking of casinos, does anyone else feel really old? When the bands of the 80s now perform at casinos. That's by one in Michigan advertising Styx. Yeah, how many people in the room even remember Styx? Yeah, I agree, Mike, but that was just how crazy it was down here. And it stayed that way. I mean, we don't have bingo halls. We don't have any of that down there. Never did. But we did have raffles because that's, again, like I said, that was the way people raised money. Schools and things. I mean, you just couldn't go out on the street legally and hold a raffle and have people walk by and say, hey, if you take a chance on winning this. That was different. But if you were a school or an organization, you could do that, and it was perfectly fine. Nobody was out buying, going into a debt for a loan shark to buy a raffle ticket. But I mean, and but that's how bad it got here, and then eventually they pushed through the lottery, and since then I guess it's just gone. Pardon the expression, but the hell in a handbasket from in regards to being the gambling, because like I say, I see it constantly now, and I guess I can get online and I can make bets right here in good old Tennessee. California just got back-to-back home runs. Oh man, what's the score, Doug? Ronner, do you mean buying lottery tickets at the grocery store? Let me catch up again here. Tiger Glass downtown. Glass Tiger's playing there. I would like to go. I don't know who Glass Tiger. I don't know if I know who that is, Mike. Well, that's a lot of people buy them here at the grocery stores, and every convenience store on the corner have got most of them. There's a few that don't, but almost everybody. As soon as they approved the lottery, almost every little store in town or the state had a lottery window. In fact, it was so bad when they first did it that all the little stores had to get people to help with traffic, and then they had to write big signs in the store that said, "Do not do scratch offs at the window. Go outside to scratch off." Because people would buy scratch offs, and they'd stand right there in front of the counter. And if they want anything, they'd turn them back in. And one person could stand there half a day. Louder sign of hairbands. Hairband from the 80s. Okay, now I'm back on speed. Which California? The California from El Segundo, Rhonda. It's a little league team. They're playing a team from Ohio, Albany, Ohio. Well, you might know that, yeah. What did Mike say? I may not get into anything serious, guys. We've gone off into a whole nother trail here. Although I think it is serious. You know nothing of Little League. Well, hang around here and you'll learn. Ever since I put it on TV, I've tried to watch it. I mean, I found it one year on TV. It's been several years ago, and I thought, "Oh my God, this is on TV." So now I watch it every year. I try to always make sure, and this year I haven't missed much. I almost missed the girls' softball. Meh. Don't meh. Don't meh that on me. I like to watch the girls play softball, and I like to watch the girls play baseball. If there's any out there, tell Daddy to take a little break and blow his nose. All right. Be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. And Brenda, that's just a tiny bit embarrassing. See, Rhonda's laughing at me. Who wears the pants in that out? Yeah, Teddy does. Why do you think she told Teddy to tell me? What did Mike say? That was funny besides that. Yeah, but say you were laughing at me, Rhonda, and then Brenda will have to apologize. You're supposed to talk behind his back. Mine or Mike's? That's good, Carol. It sounded like you couldn't have raffles at all. Now wait a minute, who are we talking about that? We have raffles for some things. We have them at our ice cream social and our science Olympiad. Well, see, that's what you should, but we couldn't even do that here. I mean, you were not allowed to have. Well, I suppose if you had an ice cream social at the church or something, and you were trying to raise money for the church, you might get away with it by just say you're passing the plate. But honestly, you couldn't do one for anything. It was a regular thing for sports teams here to and clubs, like science club or debate team to have a raffle, and they would do it. They always did a couple of big ones during the basketball season at the high school we went to. At least after Brenda and I left, my brother played basketball, and my father actually won a shotgun in a raffle down there one time. For buying some ticket. Of course, he would buy them because my brother was playing, but he actually won a shotgun. And then not long after that, they outlawed all. And that, about getting a shotgun in that part of the world is just, it's meh. Nobody cares. Sorry you're having a rough day. Who's having a rough day? Good evening, Tim and everyone. Just popping in to say hi. Not doing well. What's wrong, Dean? You've come to the right place, buddy. It's like peanuts here. We'll put on our Lucy hats and a sign, 5 cents, and we'll, you can talk to the psychologist. But yes, we are sorry to hear you're having a bad day. Oh, Dean. Okay. I've been there, done that. I can understand the life sucking thing. Do you want to talk about it? This is a pretty good group to talk to about things like that, I have found. And I've told you before, I told you when your dad passed away that you're always welcome to, drop me a line and I'll be glad to talk to you. My wife would tell you that I take on half the world's problems. And I can be a very good listener if I need to be. That said, I can't be more specific, but it has to do with my career and health. Okay. Well, I understand that too. One reason I retired 3 hours early, or 3 hours, 3 years early, or 2 years early, whatever it was. I mean, just a second, guys. What's the score now, Doug? I didn't. Did I see the score? Did you give me the score? I know that you said California at 2 home runs. There you go, Dean. Diana says there's always there are brighter days ahead. You just got to be able to see through the storm sometimes, and it's not always easy to get there, but they're there. I mean, even I think that, and I get pretty down some nights. 4-3 California. Okay. Inning, if I may ask. And not to bore Diana, I won't ask again for a while. Because we know she don't like baseball. On the lighter note, I have 4 turkey legs in the fridge that I'm going to cook tomorrow. Should help me for a little bit. Well, that's a good thing. Dean, do you ever put liquid smoke or anything on those turkey legs to, make them taste a little bit more like they would, if they've been smoked like they do at Disney? Oh, I was going to take that off. I like turkey legs, those turkey legs, but I'm not. But if you hand me a turkey and say, take the slice off what you want, I wouldn't slice off the leg. I'd give that to somebody else. I'm not a dark meat kind of guy normally. But those turkey legs down there are just, mm, 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 mm. They're on a different level. No time for seasonings. Gotcha. Dane, I didn't ask you this in a long time, and this is probably not the show for it, but do you ever see any roosters anymore? I mean, I guess George is gone, but haven't asked you that in a long time. Yes, you are, Mike. I, I'm the legend pie girl. What? Oh, she means the leg and thigh girl is what she meant, and I can have the breasts. That's what she meant. Leg and PA. She's trying to say it instead of type it. And that's where I keep trying to tell her that IG is just not as good. Or, no, what is it? AI. Because AI doesn't understand the English language nearly as well as it should. Brenda, our daughter should be home anytime. Have you heard from her? I talked to her a while back, and she said they were about an hour and a half out. Let's see. Oh, that was at 5 o'clock. Yeah, they ought to be home. They've probably been home, and they've been to Disney World. So without us, of course. How much older do you think we'll have to get, Brenda, before our kids take us with them? Take us to Disney World, kind of a gift to the old folks. Mike does that all the time, and his text can be really funny. Brenda's can be too. Although I don't know if that was funnier, or if leg and thigh would have been funnier. But legend pie sounds kind of strange. I've never seen a how to carve your turkey poster that showed the legend pie part. Maybe somebody else has. Smoking or non-smoking? That's a pretty good question to ask, Dean. Well, going back to Little League and at risk of boring Diana to death, the team from Tennessee this year, from Nolensville, which was in the Nashville area where we used to live, they have a girl on their team this year, and it's fun. It was interesting because the coach commented that having her on the team wasn't like having a girl on the team. It was just like having another good baseball player on the team, which I thought was, oh, stupid baseball. There you go. How we're in trouble. Okay. I get the message. Stupid baseball. Stupid truck. Stupid car. Stupid trailer. Mike, let's go back to talking about Saturday. Let's talk a little bit more about your fifth wheel and the horse compartment in the back. Want to? I'm sure we can find some really nice ones to look at. Tim, I haven't had a rooster in my neighborhood for a while, but there's still some wild ones that still hang around not far. Oh, let me get that where I can see it. But there's still some wild ones that still hang out not far at in the shopping center. Oh, that's interesting. That wouldn't be where I'd expect to find them. But then again, maybe that's a safe place. If you think about it, there's probably not as many predators in the shopping areas as there are in the woods, unless there's people looking for turkeys or chickens. No more stupid truck, just stupid baseball. I can take it, Mike. You know, if it gets her off you for the truck, then I'm good. We can talk about stupid baseball. Oh, I bet. Yeah, Mike, you'll have to share some pictures with us Saturday. How many Bassets can a horse trailer hold? Oh, with a truck coming with it? That's good. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that, Mike. How many miles on the truck? Diesel or gas or petrol? Gas. Speaking of that, well, in Canada, do you say petrol or gasoline? Maybe she's going to rethink the horse truck. Yeah, Diane, think about that for a minute. There could be a couple of horses in there for Mike and Alex or Alexander, and you could have a whole area for just Basset hounds to run around in. Be an easy way to take them with you everywhere you go. You just say fuel, okay. It's an older shopping center, not a lot of traffic these days. Yeah, it'd be pretty safe for the birds. See, they could. I don't know if they can find the roost. Being in a parking lot, they can, prey animals tend to like things like that because they can see predator animals coming. So I wouldn't doubt that doesn't have at least a little bit to do with it. Diesel 350, 3500 Ram Longhorn Mega Cab, 25,000 kilometers. Well, that's nothing at all, Mike. That's just barely. That's not even probably broke in on a big. That's probably a Cummins, isn't it? Diesel. I said we were going to talk about that Saturday. You have to save this for Saturday. Bring all the notes to Saturday, and we'll go over this in depth. I mean, 25 kilometers. That's not even 15,000. 18,000 miles ish. I mean, that doesn't matter to you because you don't do miles. That's not many miles to me. That's nothing especially on a diesel. I mean, that's just starting to get into, maybe broke in. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Florida and chickens, Dean. You need to research that. Dean says, I call it expensive. Yeah, it's a Cummins. Thank you, Diana. 15,534 miles. See, I was right. I guess I do that conversion a lot in my head because if you're dealing with some motorcycle events and some races where they do kilometers per hour versus miles. Basically, miles per hour rounds out to about 2/3 of the kilometer. So, if you got 45,000 kilometers, that's about 30,000 miles, give or take. Close enough for, just BSing around with people. They used to, motorcycle events and at some of the big tracks around Europe, some of the Grand Prix bikes used to get up to nearly 300 kilometers per hour, which is tremendous. Don't get me wrong. Roughly it's about 200 miles an hour, which is way faster than I want to hit the brick wall. I'm telling you, it's a clucking mystery. It surely is, Dean. It surely is. That's funnier than you think, probably. Tim has decided that the Brits can't even pronounce the word. No, they haven't. We speak the English language, and they don't even know how to speak the English language. It baffles me. It's literally clucking amazing how many words they just misspell. I mean, not misspell, mispronounce. What's some of my favorites? Like respiratory system, propitiatory system, they say. Well, Carol, you need to, it's true. You got to watch and listen. I have to go back and pick up a dictionary sometimes to figure out what they're saying. We have to we have to watch with the captions under the bottom so we can see the words. And then we look and figure out, they're saying respiratory. Now I can't say. They're saying respiratory system. I mean, I've been trying to keep a list, but I really have to start writing them all down because it's clucking baffling. And thank you, Dean, for that word. I appreciate that. Mike, are you really going to get a fifth wheel? That's exciting. It will be a while, Carol. Expensive. Yes, they are. So's the truck. Ironically, the shopping center they hang out in used to have a Popeye's chicken restaurant. And they used to hang around the drive-thru. And now that is funny, Dean. That's as Mark would say, that's funny all day long right there. Man, I like Popeye's chicken too. I wish we have one on the far end of town, and I think there's one on the north side of Knoxville. We don't have anything around here that's we have the other spicy chicken place here, the Cajun place, which I can't remember the name of. And I like Popeyes better anyway. That's what I'm getting at. Aluminum and Parmesan are the two. Wait a minute. Aluminum and Parmesan are the two that drive me crazy. Oh, aluminium. I like how they say Z and zebra. Yeah, it's Zed and zebra. Yeah, that's another one. But I can give them that. Okay, that's a short one, but maybe these are the ghosts of chicken past. Yeah, Dean, did you ever think of that? Maybe all those chickens hanging around the Popeyes drive-thru are the ghosts of the chickens that once were. Now that's clucking funny. That's right. That's a thought, Brenda. You might be onto something there. Yeah, there was a movie on one time with Don Knotts called The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Maybe they just didn't say it. Maybe it was supposed to be the ghost of chickens. And Don Knotts. If ghosts, I'm gonna tell you something. If the ghosts of chickens past are gonna haunt or hang around anywhere, My guess it ought to be Colonel Sanders' place because Lord knows he's put more of them down than probably just about anybody out there. If they've been around, I think they've been around longer than most chicken places have been anyway. If chickens come back, I-85 is covered. Oh no, not a rain delay. Well, that means I might get to see the end of it then. Well, actually, I'm recording it, but that means I won't have enough. I'm going to. Hey, Don, welcome in. This has been kind of a casual night. We've been talking about the ghosts of chickens past. We've been talking about the horse trailer / fifth wheel living quarter trailer that Mike and Diana are going to get. Diana, and we've been to see what else has been. Oh, baseball has been a topic, and how much Diana hates baseball. She's really kind of touchy about the whole thing. My daughter, who I love dearly, was at Disney World, and she asked me what kind of pen the girls usually bring me a pen or two back when they go to Disney World, and it's been a thing for a while now. And this year, she asked me what kind of pen I'd want, and I couldn't really make up my mind. So I usually try to get an annual or yearly pen, if nothing else, and just so I've got a bunch of those. But this year, I thought about something. I got selected to win, one of the awards for the internet, the Disney group thing that we have, and with through Pete and group and company, and I won one for Miguel. That was the character that I won this year. So I asked her to see if she could find me a nice pen of Miguel from Coco. And she couldn't really find much. She found two pens that neither one of us liked. She didn't like them either, that were from Coco. And she asked I think she was downtown Disney, probably at one of the stores there, or the pen trading area there. And they told her that they thought those were currently the only two Miguel or Coco pens that were on property. So we didn't get one. I said, no, just bring me back a annual pen. But she did find something else, and I'm going to save that for Brenda, because I don't know if Brenda's probably seen it. She found a really neat looking set of Lady and the Tramp pens, and she might be bringing that. Yes, ma'am. And because, many years ago, when I went to Disney one time, when I lived down there, I went several times, and I bought Brenda a Lady and the Tramp, because that's kind of how I always looked at her and I. She was definitely a lady, and I was definitely a tramp of sorts by comparison. And I just, oh, Mike, that's amazing. Hi, Coconut. Hi, Coconut. All I have a question about, Mike, is whose big toe am I seeing there? What's Brenda saying? Our son-in-law had two pens stolen. Yeah, he bought two Tron pens, because they really like Tron, and he wanted some pens. So he got himself a couple of Tron pens and put them on his backpack. And all they can figure is somebody in line picked them off of his backpack, and that's terrible. You didn't know about what, Brenda? Oh, the Lady and the Tramp. Oh, that's okay. I mean, you would have seen it. I figure she shares all the pictures with her, but maybe she didn't share that one. But that was a bad thing. They don't know that for sure. They could have fallen off but they went right out and bought some secure backs to put on their pen. They just come with those little rubber backs, and they're not that hard to pull off. And if you're bumping and going in a line and stuff, but maybe you wouldn't feel it. And so they went and bought some of those that have a pin to lock on. They can't be taken off. If they pull that off. And so I don't know if he got to replace his pins or if they were real expensive. We didn't get to see a picture of them, so I'd like to see what he got if he got them replaced. But yeah, that's terrible. There's always somebody. It's really hard. It used to be really hard, and I'm going to say I hope it still is actually, to find bad people at Disney World or people that would do that. But there was a time when I would trust people to, if you drop something, I would actually trust them to take it back. Brenda, how many digital cameras do you think we found in our days at Disneyland World? We found at least 2 or 3 different ones, and we always took them down to guest services. And whether anybody ever went and picked them up, I don't know, but I at least gave them a chance to. Hey, Doug, thanks for coming in, buddy. Glad you got to stop by. I'm pulling for Ohio, even if they're behind. I'm still going to pull for them. They've still got a chance, I think. I'm keeping a bracket up, so I'll put them on my bracket, and I'll know where they're playing next. Whoever loses will be in the loser bracket, so they always have a chance to climb out of that. There's some really good teams this year. I mean, I love to watch those kids because they're out there. And if you didn't know they were 10, 11, 12 years old, you'd think they were much older. Some of them play with such poise and just like they were born to it. Anyway, good night, Doug. Bye, dog. Bye, Doug. She meant bye, Doug. I'll just go ahead and apologize for Brenda. Does Disney still make the collectible store keys? I don't know, Diana. Actually, I don't have. Dawn might know. If she's been there long since I have. Last time we were at MK, my friend left her phone on a bench. Believe it or not, it was there when we came by. I've seen that too. Okay, I mean that's how it used to be. I mean, most of the people there were really good and honest, and they would take things back. I mean, honestly, the thousands of people that go through Disney World, there's no telling how much lost stuff is found there. But people used to turn stuff in, and they used to leave stuff alone. And seems to me like we've even sat and waited till somebody came back to get something. Maybe at a table when we were having dinner or lunch or something. But I don't know. It's sad to think it's not that way now. And if they did steal them, all I can say is if it was somebody that really wanted a pen and couldn't afford it, maybe that's one thing. I mean, I honestly would probably give them to them if they asked, but to steal them is not right. But most likely it's just some jerk that didn't want to pay for them. Anyway, they started charging for them, and they are not as popular now. Oh, wait a minute. I misunderstood. What did you ask, Diana? Let me read that again. They'll make the collectible store keys. I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand that question or the answers. Can you guys explain that to me? There are honest folks who will still turn things in. I hope so. That's good to know, Don. Good to know that case. That will still be good people out there. How about the themed one, Cinderella 50th, 100th? I don't know. Are you talking about the room card keys? Or am I missing out altogether? Are those the keys you buy on Disney's merch site? Okay. Maybe I'm back on the right page. I wish room keys that you kept were still worth something collectible. I think I've got our room ever since they started doing plastic keys, the slide keys. I think I've got them for every trip we ever took. I used to keep everything. I get that. I get that. That's funny. I see what you did there. I don't remember, Carol. I'm not trying to be too nosy, but was this year one of those years? Okay, thank you, Mike. And in case anybody missed it a while ago, Mike sent me a picture of one of their basset hounds watching us on TV. I said hi to it. Did it respond, Mike, by any chance? Yes, we were there, but we had to leave our. Okay, I thought so. Well, maybe sometime when you feel like we can talk about what part of your trip you did get to enjoy. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to, but maybe in 4 years we can go and we can all meet down there and have a Mickey ice cream over somewhere. Oh, you did? Well, that's good. Is Dean still with us? He hasn't said anything in a few minutes. Maybe the chicken talk got to him. I had a friend on speakerphone earlier, and Bella decided to have a conversation with him. And sometimes Teddy will do that, and Chloe will a little bit, but they won't. They get bored quickly. Okay, Diane, I'm going there right now. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, wow, that's a nice set. Is that your set hanging on the wall? That's impressive if it is. We never got those, or never got into those, I guess. Might be the way to say that. I was going to try to post something. If anybody else wants to have some fun, go check this out when you get a chance. Oh no, not that. That's too much. Well, let me see what happens when I do that. I might click that and see if it works. That's a Basset Hound Race. Oh, it came out in 2 different keys. Oh, never mind. I need to just erase that. Somebody wants to ban me from the website. I understand. Yeah, but they closed the store now. I can't get any more. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I bet they're available then. You could probably pick them up somewhere else, or somebody can help you pick them up. Okay, Dean. Carol just said she ran into you over at Epcot when she was down there. We have a pretty large collection of keys. They used to give them away free with purchase of the Disney stores and on Shop Disney. Okay. Should have posted in that lounge so we can all see. How you do that, Diana or Rhonda? She sent it to me now, but I can't do that, I guess. Thinking isn't allowed tonight, Dean. Carol said I was planning to hop over to Epcot for food and wine, and Dean went live on IG saying he was headed there. So when I got there, I looked for places near the turkey legs, and there he was. Well, good job, Carol. That's a good hunting technique to know where they feed. We hunt deer that way. Find out where they're feeding at night and kind of set up around that area and hang around, see if anybody shows up. Oh, don't we all miss free stuff? There used to be so much free stuff. Not great big things, but they checking in and signing in and getting stuff at home used to be such a different experience. I mean, magic bands were free. They used to send them out with the reservations. I don't think they do anymore. One of you guys that's been can tell me, but I thought they quit doing that too. Keys are really cute. They still have them for sale at Williams Disney store. Oh, where William lives. I haven't been in a Disney store in so long, I don't even know if we've got one around here anymore. Brenda has, oh boy, this will be exciting. We can talk about this. She has a snail in her aquarium right now that the algae has grown so long it looks like a troll doll. Hell, somebody needs to hitch a ride on the back of that snail and give him a trim. Sometimes the crabs do that, the hermit crabs. Yeah, Brenda, you should post that. That's a good idea. If you can get a good picture of that, you need to put that on Instagram or put it in. You can put it in my Saturday morning shine chat room if you want to. Yeah, that's what I thought she meant too, but I didn't realize you used to get them free. I don't think we ever got any free ones. That's how long it's been since we've been there. Either that or we just never got them. I don't know which. 'Cause I don't think we have any. Oh wow, check her out. She's just so fancy talking now. She's just up with all the hip kids. Yeah, he's pretty cute. I'll say it. I'll say if I can get a snap of him. She'll say it. She'll see if she can get a snap of it. A snap of him? When did you start saying snap? You need a snail to groom the snail. That's right, Tina. One of the other snails could get on the back and he'd just sit there and munch for, all day. Welcome back in, Tina. I know you've been here the whole time, but some of them may not have known you were here. Wow, what was it? There used to be some other things we used to get that were, well, for one thing, back many years ago, let's say the early 90s, Disney used to produce some of the nicest vacation brochures that anybody I ever saw. Not they were not brochures, they were more like a small magazine. They were always multiple pages. They had pictures of the resorts, they had pictures of the parks, and they were, magazine size. And I've got several of those, and some of those were really good, and they had some really great pictures in them. I get really nostalgic when I see good old photography anyway, especially if it looks kind of like it might have been done with Kodachrome, Kodak color film or slide film. I don't know if you've ever looked, but if you look in a magazine, a lot of the old magazines like Arizona Highway, or is it Arizona Highways, or just the Arizona magazines, they're full of those photos, and almost all of those old photos in those magazines were taken with Kodachrome, and they just have this rich, different color look to them, and I always get real nostalgic when I see one. And I've got several really old ones that Phil gave me that his mother had collected years ago, and they're just full of those old photographs, and I just love them. There are only 22 Disney stores left in the United States. They closed all the others. That's so sad. Did anyone ever get to raise the? Well, yeah, I think I've talked about that on my Saturday show, but I don't know if I've ever asked about it here. I mean, it really was. It really was sad. I mean, we used to enjoy going. At least I did. Brenda got to where she didn't like to go to the mall, but yeah, and the DVDs. Oh, and the I've got a couple of VHS tapes over here on my shelf too, Diana, that I got. We have three Disney stores in Atlanta. Wow, that's interesting, Rhonda. We used to get Arizona highways in the 70s because I had grandparents in Tucson. Yeah, they're really cool magazines. I guess they still do them. Photography's changed so much though since then. I mean, it's good. It's really good now, but there was something about those old Kodacolor photos that was just the colors in them were just so different, especially the reds, and which was what they were really famous for was their red, how their reds popped. Other films were better at green, but they could kind of do it all. But reds were really good, and I don't know. There's just something really warm and okay. I'm not sure what I did there. Yeah, let's see. Me too, Rhonda. 33 hours is a bit of a drive to go shopping, though. Yeah, just to beat at the Disney store. Oh, I can remember when we used to go stand in line too when there was something was coming out or like a new movie was coming out. If you went in there and bought the first VHS, the recordings of those movies, and in the big plastic boxes, and you could get free lithographs and stuff like that would come with them if you went to the store and bought them. And we have some of those too. Diana, the one in Ohio might be closer. Anything else? Anybody's looking at a map where the locations are? Is there anything closer to Diana and Mike than Ohio? Reds and blues were more Konica film. Yeah. Oh, you used to work in a photo map. Okay. Do you remember Kodachrome? Because they had to send nobody in the country could do Kodachrome processing, and Kodachrome was a slide film. Actually, it was a black and white photograph film that Kodak had a process to make it a slide, and when they did, they colored it. That's why it was so different, and that's why you had to send it to Kodak to get it processed. There were only a few places in the country where you could get it done. I don't think you can even buy it now. Once they shut it down for good. I still have some of the. Yeah, Dean's got some of those. I have some film. I used to shoot some. Speaking of that, Tina, I used to shoot all slides, or I did that for several years anyway. I just shot slide film, and because of the colors and everything. But I got to shooting a Fuji film that was really good too. But it had a good color pattern palette to it. But the greens on it were brilliant. That was one of the things they did well, or were kind of famous for. Yeah, I do. We got a stack of them over here. If anybody ever finds out they're worth anything, let me know. I just packed them all in a box over here, cleaning up the corner of my room. We'd like to go to the Disney store and then Earl sandwich after. Oh yes, I love the Earl sandwich. It was like you mean you had an Earl sandwich up there where your Disney store was, Diana? Because I've never seen a Disney store. I've never seen an Earl sandwich anywhere but Disney World. That's interesting. Yeah, Tina, it certainly is, and that's sad to me. Oh, I still have two working VCRs. Maybe three working VCRs, Dean. No, two. I take that back, two. And but I haven't played a VHS taping for a while. I mean, I'll have to admit the DVDs are better, but I've still got some beta tapes hidden somewhere. And don't ask for, and we won't go into that any further. Let's just say thrift store. No, not the thrift store, Rhonda. We have an early. What is that? What do you mean, Diana? I'm missing something there. That we. I don't know what I'm missing. Oh wow, I meant to go. Oh, shit, excuse me. It's already after 9. I'm usually off by 9. Mike, what is a VCR? Yeah, you know what a VCR is. I could open his closet if anybody wanted to go shopping on the thrift store. Remember, Brenda, when I get off here, you will be within my reach. I had all 3 original released Star Wars movies. My ex took them when he moved out. Well, that sucks, Rhonda. I will tell. What the heck, Rhonda? That's nasty. Yeah, it's nasty. That's just low down. I could not fair with a cane. You're always just about in reach of my cane. Brenda says, I will tell everybody you beat me with the cane. One the cane, the one that's named SOB. Yes, I have a cane named SOB officially. Because that SOB falls down on me a lot when I stand it up, and I have to figure out how to get bent over to pick it up. Each film producer had that hood. Kodak had Great Reds. Konica, which made Photomat film, had Great Blues, and another film company's had that taught Great Yellows. Yeah, they did, and some of them are really good. One of the things about the Kodak film was it was in a very slow speed too, so it had really fine grained pictures. And I think the others had really slow speed films too. Some of them were just professional films. I used to shoot professional Kodak. Well, I shot some professional Kodak slide film, but I shot the Fuji films. I used to buy professional grade films and roll them myself. Roll the little cans to put in my camera. 35. If anybody remembers what film is, you name your canes. I named that one, Tina. I name everything. My motorcycles have names too. And our car probably, but I usually leave that to Brenda. That is, unless she decides to name this one we have now minivan, in which case I'll beat her with the SOB cane. There used to be a law in Tennessee, at least according to an old lawyer I knew, that used to say there was a law in the books in Tennessee for a long, long time that it was legal for a man to beat his wife with a stick as long as it was no bigger around than his thumb. The bottom end of my cane is definitely not as big as my thumb. Yeah, I guess they do, Tina. Current motorcycles I have are named Connie Blue and Shadow. But you can't just name one. You kind of got to let it introduce itself to you and figure out maybe what its name is. Its name is not Van. Its name will never be Van or anything that even resembles a van. You ought to take them, get them developed, Diana. That is, if you can find a place to do it, because you never know what little treasure you might find in there. The rule of thumb. Okay. You hear that, Brenda? It's a rule. A rule of thumb. He used to tell us about this other law that was on the books for a long time regarding railroads, and he was a lawyer. He was the local lawyer for Southern Railroad back then, so he did a lot of cases with them and worked with them a lot. Which, well, that's another story. But anyway, he said there used to be a law in the books that said that if two trains came to an intersection of some sort, to join the tracks, that the way it was written, it said that neither shall move until the other has passed. And he used to think that was really funny because if neither one can move, how can either one pass? Rhonda says she only named one vehicle when I never called it that. I only named one vehicle, then I never called it that. I called it Blackberry as an ode to Psych. Oh, was that as in Blackberry the phone? You might find yourself sewed to that bed tonight and beaten with my cane. You don't have a cane. You borrowed my cane, but you don't have a cane. Brenda actually has a relative that supposedly sewed her husband, who was bad to drink, sewed him between the sheets and beat him half to death with a cane one night and kind of broke him coming home drunk. Am I telling that right, Brenda? Yeah, it's not always easy to get film developed, but you can. There are places. Phil just shot some film recently. For some reason, he got a wild hair and decided he wanted to. And he found a place that would develop it. So, yeah, that's what I wondered, Rhonda, if you meant Psych, the TV show. They had a small blue car called Blueberry. And then rented a car named Cranberry, which blew up within 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I remember the show Psych. I didn't watch it much, but I do remember it. I'm trying to remember what network that came on originally. It wasn't like ABC, CBS, or NBC. It was one of the, but it wasn't it was a cable channel, I'm sure, but might be TBS or something. Was Cranberry a Pinto by chance? My dad bought a Pinto one time for a while. He had a station wagon Pinto, and my brother drove it around some. And he used his expression, they just called it the toe, T-O. But he used to say, his expression used to be, yeah, I drive a Pinto. And he said, toes blow, as in blow up. A broomstick. Okay, she used a broomstick on him. That's supposed to be a true story. Oh, I'm spinning again? I'm not on this end. I don't think. I didn't see it, Mike. Sorry. That's not, well, it broke him a coming home drunk, apparently, Mike. At least that's what that's how the legend goes. Tina says, I had an ex who had a Pinto while I was dating him. Now I know why I never felt safe. That's it. Pintos, at least of a certain vintage, were bad to blow up. They got rear-ended. They could blow. Blueberry was a Yaris. Well, that's kind of a good car to be a Blueberry. It's kind of shaped right. Seems like they were kind of rounded. Okay, we're just about through. I'm about out of coffee, so we're about done. Well, I need to find a place to set that. Oh, well. Got something in my way. I got my beef jerky in the way. One of my friends had a Pinto station wagon in high school. We had so much fun driving in that thing. Yeah, I mean, that old station wagon held up good, and Dad drove it for years. Of course, he never got rear-ended, thank goodness. But I don't know if it was the gas tank was right in the very back of those things and exposed. You could see it. And it was just strapped under the car, which is how they do them anyway. But it just had literally no protection. Dawn said her sister had a Pinto in college. Many good memories jamming out to Seals and Cross. Well, I've done that too, but not in the Pinto. An old Ford though. My buddy Kevin and I drove back and forth from Florida when we were going to school down there. He had a 62. Well, the first couple of years we were down there, the first couple of semesters we were down there, he had a 62 Ford 500, and we cruised the highways with that boat. And then the last semester he was there, I believe he was driving a newer version of that car. I don't remember what year it was. His family liked Fords, and they had some good old Fords. Dinah says her grandpa, what's Mike saying? Pinto would be a cool hot rod. Hey, Mike, you'll have to tell me about. I'll ask you a question after I read a couple of posts. My grandpa had Pinto, lots of speeding tickets. I didn't know them to be that fast. Wow, so many Pinto stories. I kind of miss all those 70s cars. Summer, there you go, Don. That's right. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. They had to rename the Pinto in Brazil. What did it mean in Brazil? I know another funny story about car names. My girlfriend and I went to Gatlinburg in her brand new Pinto, and when we got there, the drivetrain fell out. I was sitting in the back seat in the middle, and not the whole drivetrain, but the drive shaft fell out, which was lucky. I guess it broke on the back end. If it broke on the front end, it could have flipped over on its top. No, not family friendly. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what did you say? They had to rename. Oh, okay, gotcha. I can probably figure that out here in a few minutes. Yeah, Brenda called me on that trip and said, "Yeah, guess what happened?" I can't remember. Did they have to have a rental car to get home, or did she get it fixed and then you guys drove it home? I don't remember. You had to look it up, Carol. Pinto is slang for a small appendage. A small. That's funny. Now you're trying to be cute. She called her husband and he called a tow truck and we went shopping. Oh, imagine that. I'll tell you another funny one. I used to work with a guy from Venezuela, and he said that when Chevrolet came out with the Nova, they tried to sell it in South and Central America, and they couldn't. Nobody would buy it down there. They had to change the name on it too down there because Nova meant no go. He said, at least in some Spanish slang, and he said nobody down there would buy a car that said no go. He said it was truth. He was from down there. I don't know. Why do I feel like I'm in fourth grade looking up bad words in the dictionary? They had to rename Daffy Duck too. I forgot why, but it's a weird thing. Oh, he came and got you guys, and the car was towed home. Wasn't that when we lived in Nashville, Brenda? Or was it here? Okay, Mike says he found out what Pinto means in Brazil. Carol says she heard the Nova thing. I think that's true. Car company checks things like that before naming them these days. Yeah, I think they probably do. Don, they probably should have back then too, especially if they were going to take them to other countries and sell them. I mean, around here, a Pinto meant a horse or a bean, but other places it didn't. Oh, you had a Monza Spider. My brother had a Monza Spider, Mike. Oh my God, that thing had a 305 V8 in it, which nothing spectacular about that. They weren't very good engines, but you could not change the spark plugs in that thing without jacking up the motor. You had to jack it up and loosen the engine mounts and jack that thing up to get into where the spark plugs were. It was a nightmare. Man, they had that packed up in there in Jonesboro. Okay. I don't know if my brothers was probably about an 82. I don't know how long they made those things. I don't know. That could have been a really sporty car, but like most cars in those days from American Motor Companies or car companies, they didn't put all the other right stuff with it to make it, if you had a good motor, a strong motor, it wouldn't handle. If it handled halfway decent, I don't know if we ever made one like that. But if we'd ever made a halfway decent handling one, I'm sure it wouldn't have had enough horsepower. That's kind of like the mid-engine. What was the mid-engine GMC car that came out? Oh crap! I always thought that should have been a fun car, but apparently they were dogs too. They just didn't put enough extra effort into them. The car was named after a horse. I thought, yeah, that's right. They used to do commercials about that. It went along with the Mustang. That's true, Don. I should have remembered that. I remember those commercials actually. You about ready to go to bed? It's about time to go upstairs. And he's going to clean a foot instead. Daffy is Pacolino in Brazil, which means duckling. So it was duckling duck. Ford likes horsey cars. Pinto, Mustang, Bronco. Yes, they do, or at least they did. My 80 Monza Spider was very heavily modified. Was it stupid? Was it a stupid car, Mike? Fiero, yes, that was it. It was a lemon, but it shouldn't have been. If they'd gone to the trouble to make that a better car, quality wise and stuff, that could have been a great little car. I mean, an American sports mid-engine sports car would have been amazing. I mean, they would have sold those things like firecrackers, I think. Fire fell apart when it got hit. Fiero, you mean? Rhonda? Yeah, Fiero. Yeah, they had a lot of, weren't they plastic panels, Mike? And they have a lot, maybe you don't know, but I think they had a lot of plastic panels, which should have been cheaper. They were lighter and you could replace them, but I don't know. My sister had a Fiero. It was cool looking, but the front fender fell off. Yeah. I think from what Rhonda just said, that may have been one of their real problems, but they turned out to be pretty junky, and which is just such a shame. That could have been such a neat car. I mean, they could have built something that would compete with the lower model Porsches back then. Oh, bumper, not fender. Part's part. It shouldn't fall off. Unless, of course, you crash it heavily and then maybe it can fall off. One of the drivers where I worked saw one get T-boned by a semi. Well, that wouldn't be good anyway. Look at it. When it pulled out in front and the truck couldn't stop. I bet that did come apart. Jeff had a Plymouth Gold Duster. I knew somebody had a Gold Duster in high school, souped up with cherry bombs and all. Woohoo! It was his pride and joy. I bet it was. I had a friend of mine that bought a brand new, and it was what today people might call a Tennessee Orange, as in the football team, but he didn't buy it for that reason. And it was either it wasn't a Duster though. It was oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it. But he bought it pretty modified from the factory, whatever you could get on it. And then I'm sure he worked on it some more after that. And he went roaring through downtown Jonesboro one night at like 100. Unfortunately, the cops didn't actually catch him because he got gone and hid before they knew he was down there. Karki said when she got divorced, her ex got the Fiero and she got the Monza. It wasn't a pretty car, but it lasted. Well, that's good. She probably didn't want the Fiero. Yeah, some Plymouths were back in the day were pretty hot roddy. There was a lot of parts for those things too. All Mopar stuff had a lot of hot rod parts and could be heavily modified without much trouble. Oh, it's 9:30. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodnight. I got to go up and eat my salad. And Teddy said he was tired. Didn't we have a set of twin fellows that had dusters? You mean at school, Brenda? Would that have been the, what was their last name? Karki's. If we had the VIN number, we'd try to see if that car might still be around. Yeah, we could. Can you do that, Don? I've never tried that. Hey, Francisco, welcome in, buddy. We're just about to go out. I'm getting ready to call it a night for a couple reasons. One, I'm going to go eat a salad or at least have a snack. And the other reason is I'm going to have to go to the little boy's room here in a minute. I've drank a whole thing of coffee. So I really appreciate everybody coming in tonight. I know it was a really lax night. So if you came in looking for a set topic or something to talk about, I didn't have one tonight. I just wanted to come in and chat. Some nights I just don't know what to do. And I come in and it depends on what my mood is, what I want to talk about. And sometimes I just like to chat, which I do on Saturdays a lot too, as most of you know. But usually I try to put something together. Yes, you can locate vehicles. I did not know you could do that. I mean, I know how that works, but I didn't know you could do that. So I hope to see y'all on Saturday mornings, or at least some of you. And I'll be there bright and early. Mark's planning on being there. We have a topic already picked out. I got to finish working on it tomorrow. So that's right, Rhonda. Not like we stay on topic anyway. They were ready. Yeah, I know who they were, Brendan. They married another friend. I thought they married another friend of yours or something. And I can't remember, but I can't remember their name. They lived right across the road from us, or across the interstate or highway, across the new highway from Mom and Dad. Probably not a half mile away, but I can't remember their name right now. But I know you're talking about. That's exactly who I had in mind. So anyway, yeah, chatting is good, and we're through chatting. So I'm going to end it tonight, guys. Thank you again. Love y'all. We'll be in touch. See y'all Saturday. Good night.